Should be live.
All right, thank you.
Should be live.
All right.
Change that we will work to stay on.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to our Workforce Wednesday Bus to Business live session. Today's Wednesday, November 10th, so thank you all for joining us. Today we have a great panel with East Kentucky Power Cooperative, and we'll be hearing from them shortly. But before we switch over to them, I just wanted to do a few housekeeping things and remind you all of some stuff we have going on this year. So first of all, we want to thank our sponsors, Kentucky SHRM and KCTCS, for being great partners of ours and helping to bring classrooms to careers through this program. And we also want to remind you all that we do have several contests going on for each age group, elementary, middle school, and high school students. So check out those and learn more about those on our website, kychamber.com/bus2business. The applications for that are open, and the session is maritime focused for the month of November. So check out that on our website and get those submitted so you can be entered to win those cool prizes and experiences we have ready for you all. So today we'll be hearing from a panel of employees at East Kentucky Power. Our Talent Pipeline Project Manager, Zach Morgan, will be watching in the chat for any questions, and we'll lead a time at the end for Q&A. So if you have any questions during the panel, please put those in the chat and we will get those directed. And right now I will kick it over to Terry Lacey, Human Resource Manager at East Kentucky Power Cooperative. And she's also a member of the Kentucky Chamber Workforce Center Board. So I'll kick it over to Terry. Thanks.
Thanks, Harper. Good morning, everybody. Like Harper said, my name is Terry Lacey, and I am the Manager of Human Resources for East Kentucky Power Cooperative. A lot of you guys, I'm sure, have never heard of us as an organization or what we do, but we are an electric utility. So we are the people that make the power, that help you keep your iPhones charged and all those things that are important to you. I'm really excited to tell you about what we do and how important and how critical our industry is to the security and the quality of life for people in our state and obviously within the rest of the country. So we've got a short video we're going to share with you. It kind of gives you a quick overview of what it is that we do. And then I've got 4 people that work with me from different parts of the organizations that are going to tell you about their career paths and how they got there and what it is they do to serve our members. We are a cooperative, so we are a little bit different than like a Duke or an LG&E KU type of organization, where the people that use our power are our owners. So everything we do, we serve 1.2 million people within the state of Kentucky, mostly in the eastern and the southern part of the state. So everything we do to help the people in those areas maintain a really good quality of life and keep safe and affordable electric power to them and to their homes and their businesses. We have a lot of change coming up in our industry, so it's a really exciting time to be here. You know, the movement towards renewable energy, the focus on electric vehicles. You may hear some of our speakers talk about that today, but know that we also need people in accounting, and we need people in IT, and we need people in supply chain. So even though I couldn't provide a speaker for every part of the organization, know that all of those careers are available with us as well. But I think you'll really enjoy hearing from the people that we do have. And I don't want to take up too much time. I want to let you all see the video and hear from the people who are doing the important work for the people of Kentucky. So thanks for joining us today, and I look forward to answering any questions or hearing from you guys when this is over.
We'll go ahead and share the video.
Located in the heart of the Bluegrass State, East Kentucky Power Cooperative is a not-for-profit company with a vital mission: to safely generate and transmit affordable, reliable electric power to 16 owner-member cooperatives that serve more than 1 million Kentucky residents. Together with our 16 owner members, we're known as Kentucky's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives. We're leaders in energy efficiency and environmental stewardship. We're dedicated to energy innovation, safety, and service to Kentucky's people and their local communities. And we're committed to providing the power to improve lives here in Kentucky. The 16 owner-member co-ops govern our organization. They distribute the electricity that East Kentucky Power Cooperative generates to people in 87 counties. Our owner-member co-ops include Big Sandy RECC, Bluegrass Energy, Clark Energy, Cumberland Valley Electric, Farmers RECC, Fleming Mason Energy, Grayson Rural Electric, Intercounty Energy, Jackson Energy Cooperative, Licking Valley Rural Electric, Nolin RECC, Owen Electric Cooperative, Salt River Electric Cooperative, Shelby Energy Cooperative, South Kentucky RECC, and Taylor County RECC. We are Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, an alliance of electric co-ops throughout the United States. East Kentucky Power Cooperative generates electricity at 4 power plants and transmits this energy over nearly 3,000 miles of power lines to our owner members. They distribute this power to homes, schools, businesses, and industries. Our largest plant is Spurlock Station, located near Maysville on the Ohio River. The plant has 4 of the cleanest coal-fueled generating units in the country, with cutting-edge environmental controls. Cooper Station sits on the banks of Lake Cumberland, near Somerset. It has 2 coal-fueled units, a state-of-the-art scrubber, and the latest environmental controls. A third plant in Clark County, Smith Station, is home to 9 combustion turbine units fueled by natural gas that can go online in minutes. And Bluegrass Generating Station in Oldham County has 3 combustion turbine units. Our cooperative system generates more renewable power than any utility in Kentucky. Our co-op members can choose to receive power generated from one of the largest solar projects in the state, Cooperative Solar One. Located in Winchester, this solar farm features 32,000 photovoltaic panels. Participating members get monthly bill credits based on their share of the power produced. And our power generation includes clean, renewable power from landfill gas, along with hydropower from Wolf Creek Dam. In 2013, East Kentucky Power Cooperative joined PJM Interconnection, the world's largest centrally dispatched grid, spanning 13 states and the District of Columbia. Membership in PJM enables East Kentucky Power Cooperative to operate more efficiently, reduces risk, and provides access to a major power supply marketplace with many more opportunities to buy and sell power. That helps us keep electricity affordable and reliable for Kentucky. To meet the latest air quality standards, we've invested $1.75 billion in cutting-edge clean coal generating technology and retrofits to existing plants. And we're deeply committed to protecting Kentucky's natural treasures by monitoring endangered bat species, by providing environmental education classes to schools, by nurturing peregrine falcons at our plants, and through many other programs. And with our owner members, we're committed to the communities we serve by partnering with the American Red Cross, supporting Special Olympics, and by sponsoring an annual honor flight to Washington, D.C. for veterans of World War II and the Korean War. With our owner-member co-ops, we offer a wide variety of programs to promote energy efficiency and to reduce electric consumption so homes and businesses can better manage their energy usage. These programs help to keep power rates affordable for everybody. Since the 1970s, we partner with our 16 owner members and the communities they serve to promote economic development, bringing jobs and investment to Kentucky. Our rates and services are regulated by the State Public Service Commission, or PSC. Our cooperatives also maintain a staff of trained energy auditors who conduct nearly 4,000 energy audits and high bill investigations each year. Our energy experts have advanced certifications, and they play an important role in directing cooperative members to the most appropriate programs to reduce energy usage and make monthly bills more manageable. We've changed dramatically since East Kentucky Power Cooperative was founded, but one thing has never changed: our commitment to people cooperating together, improving lives by safely delivering affordable and reliable power to our 16 owner-member co-ops and the people they serve. We are East Kentucky Power Cooperative.
So that kind of gives you a general overview of our company, all the things that we do. We run a very complex organization that we really need talented people who are focused on the mission and delivering the safe, affordable power electricity to our members. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to some of our panelists. I think I'll start with Laura Lemaster. Laura is a senior engineer. She works in our engineering and construction department, and she is a civil engineer by discipline. So Laura can hop on and tell you some of the projects that she's working on and how she got here and some of the things that she gets involved with. So I'll let Laura take over from here.
Yeah, thanks. Good morning, you all. So as Terry said, I am a senior project manager in our capital construction department. So I do have a degree in civil engineering from UK. What we do mainly here at least in my role in the capital construction group, is we really oversee projects from basically like the development, the very earliest stage of that in an idea, and develop that through design, construction, and then assist in the commissioning of that. So we're kind of the big picture for capital projects, which would be kind of a larger scale project that we see. So we work really heavily with our folks here at the plants and other departments when they start to come up with an idea for a project. So that may be something like that's reliability driven, right? Whether that's a transmission line or a new substation or something at the plant that needs to be upgraded for reliability or for environmental reasons. And we help to develop and define that scope with those folks that had the idea and have a stake in that. Start really working on budgeting and timeline and see how we're going to implement that project. So then we see it through kind of a detailed design stage where you have a consultant or maybe that person's internal and then into construction. So I actually started my career as a consulting engineer. So I did structural design and water wastewater. So I was much more on the technical side at that point, doing detailed design calculations and going through development of drawings and specifications. And in the role I have now, it's more of a big picture approach. So I'm working more heavily on coordinating to make sure that our sites and our members get projects that are safe. They meet the intent of the original idea, that they're done within the time frame that they're needed to be done, and that they're done within budget. So budget that we've given our board and those owner members that we're going to try to maintain. So that's kind of a quick overview of what I do here. I know that's kind of quick and a lot, but Zach, I don't know if you have any questions on that. Gotten any questions?
Sure. Yeah, actually, so I'm Zach Morgan. I am I'm a project manager with the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce. I'll be managing our Q&A session here. So TJ, if you're able to come up on camera and introduce yourself, we'll do quick intros of what each person does. And then we'll hop into some Q&A. So TJ and who else do we have? Sarah Fraley. and anyone else who's on the East Kentucky team who's going to be sharing. So TJ, go ahead and share also very quickly what type of work you do at East Kentucky Power.
Hey, I'm just actually got promoted. I'm a line technician here at East Kentucky Power. Work out of Burnside down in Somerset, Kentucky. We pretty much install, repair, maintain high voltage transmission lines that flow from our power generating stations out through, like I said, about all of Eastern and Southern Kentucky, all the way out to our substations. We'll go out and walk the lines and fly them helicopters, check everything, make sure there's no major damage. And if we do find something, we'll collaborate with our team members and, assess the situation going on and get together and figure out the best way to go about resolving that situation.
Wonderful. Thanks. Sarah, could you describe your job and what you do?
Sure. I'm Sarah Fraley, and I'm the supervisor of environmental compliance within our environmental affairs department at EKPC, based out of our headquarters office. So my main responsibilities are ensuring that our company remains compliant with all of the environmental regulations and requirements that are imposed from EPA. And our company does have quite a few that we have to comply with that are specific to each of our different facilities and then our company as a whole. So as you can imagine, it is quite a lot of work. We have a rather good team and group, so I'm just one kind of representation. But my degree in discipline is from engineering as well, as Laura is. I studied chemical engineering through college and received a chemical engineering degree.
Excellent. That makes sense. We may have someone jump on from the Spurlock station. If you guys, students who are watching today, when you saw that video and they talked about the Spurlock station up near Maysville. And so we're hoping somebody from there will be able to pop on and talk about some of the environmental things that they're doing up there with their work. But if they don't, we'll lean on you, Sarah, to kind of share some of those environmental efforts that you have. But thank you all for coming on and sharing what you do and the different parts of the company and how you keep it running. So I'd like to go around the room and we'll share kind of how you got to where you are. You're at certain, different points in your career and different degrees, different experience. But how did you get to where you are? And we'll start with TJ.
All right. Well, my dad started out doing this a long time ago, so I kind of fell in right behind him in his footsteps. I started out when I was 18 years old as a contractor. Worked there building power lines for about 8 years and was blessed and fortunate enough to there was an opening here at East Kentucky Power, and they gave me an opportunity and I took the job. Been here about 4 years now.
Thank you. And Sarah?
Yeah, so I guess starting out, when I was younger, I discovered I was really good with math and science. I enjoyed chemistry. That's kind of how the path that took me to pursuing an engineering degree and a chemical engineering degree specifically. When I was graduating college, it was the 2009, 2010 timeframe where jobs were a little more limited and opportunities. So I had done through my degree, through my education, I had the opportunity to actually do a co-op with Toyota Motor Manufacturing Kentucky there in Georgetown. So if anybody's on that, knows that area, knows the company, obviously. I worked in the environmental field there, discovered that I enjoyed the work there. So it kind of led me to pursue environmental jobs. And starting out, I started with, actually, I got a job at Kentucky Utilities at one of their power plants. And after working there a few years, I decided I wanted to pursue more than just the plant environmental concerns, and actually wanted to kind of branch out to more of the corporate level. So that's kind of how I got to EKPC, and I've been with EKPC for 7 years now.
Thank you. Laura, how did you get to where you are?
So kind of like Sarah, I started, I have my civil engineering degree. While I was working on that, I interned for a structural engineering firm throughout college and my master's, because like Sarah, I graduated during what would have been kind of the recession time. So I stayed and got my master's through that. Spent a few years in structural engineering, and then did some time at water, wastewater, all in the consultant side. So this job opportunity came open, and I liked the idea of doing more of a management side, a little less technical, but you still kind of get your hands in a lot of different types of projects. And that was interesting to me, to be able to see a wider range of projects.
Thanks. I want to introduce Dale, who's joining us from the Spurlock plant. And Dale, we had a quick intro video on East Kentucky Power, and it highlighted some of the things that are going on at Spurlock. And I want to hear from you what exactly it is that you do there, very briefly. And then I've also asked your colleagues here how they got to where they are, how they got to the job that they're in right now.
My name is Dale Hamilton. I've been here since June of 2020. I am the environmental plant operator, which is basically taking care of wastewater, checking all the clarifiers, doing sampling of the water, making sure everything's working correctly. Before here, I worked at a company called E.D. Bullard in Cynthiana, Kentucky. Made hard hats and safety equipment. So I kind of have a maintenance background, and it just kind of moved to here.
Great, thank you. So I'd like to kind of go around and talk about, it's interesting. It seems like we have quite a spread of different types of jobs, but what are some other jobs that you have run into at East Kentucky Power or in the power industry that, we have some engineers, we got maintenance, we have line technician jobs represented on the screen right now, but what are some other jobs that you've run into at East Kentucky Power that are maybe unexpected? Because we're talking with our high school students around the state right now, and they might not know all the different possible ways to get into this industry.
Well, I guess I can give a stab at it to start with. I mean, Terry, she alluded to it earlier, and saying, she had, engineers and line techs, but she couldn't represent every part of the business, here today with you all. But, if you're interested in accounting, accounting is an important part of our business as well. Member services, we do, I think our video touched on it. There's a lot of outreach that gets done as the cooperative family. All of our owner members, there's a lot of work that gets done there. There's a lot of communication. So if you're really good at communicating, you like to advertise, the videos, that like the video we, showed earlier, those types of jobs are available within the power industry as well. Being able to create marketing. You probably don't think of your electric utility as needing marketing because you don't have much of a choice as to what who your provider is. You don't get to choose that, but there is we do a lot of marketing, especially with our co-ops, because there is a lot of outreach to the consumer. For them, it's really important as us as a cooperative to really connect with our owner members. We serve some of the poorest, people in the country, not just in the state, but in the country. And so it's really important for us to get our message out there and for people to feel a connection to us, and that we are trying to do our best to give them the lowest electric bill possible. So, you probably don't, like I said, marketing may not be one of those things that you think of. You're going to think of all the technical fields that are within our company, and we do have a lot of technical, but there is the other side of that other side of the business too.
Yeah.
Thanks,
And
Sarah.
let
Go ahead,
me
Terry.
jump in. I was looking at the question in the chat about what is the most crucial parts of your job. I mean, for all of these people, all of these people are very technical, and there's that, if you think of like STEM, all of these people are kind of working in a STEM career, and that's important for sure. But the other thing the other advice I would give to people is, even though you've got to have your technical field, whether it's engineering or if it's working in a plant, or even if it is something like marketing or human resources or accounting, that's your technical field. Don't ever minimize how important communication is and time management and some of those things that we tend to call soft skills. But I will tell you, all the soft skills are really the hard stuff. I don't know why they call them soft, because they're really hard. But we see people all the time who come to us and who are great technical people, but don't have the ability to work as part of a team, don't have the ability to communicate, don't have the ability to manage their time or anything like that. So make sure that you pay just as much attention to those things that are kind of outside of your technical field of study, whatever it may be, because those will be really, really critical for your success.
Thanks, Terry. Dale, I'm curious about the work you do at Spurlock, and especially, you've just joined there, somewhat recently. What are some of the things that you've learned about the industry since because you came in from, you said, more of a maintenance, manufacturing, probably kind of background. What are some of the things that you've learned maybe that were surprising while you've been at Spurlock?
I would say one of the main things is that when you drive by a power plant and people just see smoke coming out of the stacks, all they're thinking is that that's bad for me. That's dangerous. It's bad for the environment. But when you actually get in here and start digging in, we're actually taking a lot of the pollutants out of what they would call smoke, which is actually steam. So we're taking like 98% of the pollutants out of the steam before it even goes into the environment.
Yeah, that's fascinating, and definitely, that's kind of run through my mind when I see things billowing out of the smokestacks there, and it's usually white, which indicates that it's steam, and definitely, unless we know something about that process, it's easy to kind of have our minds go down that route. So thanks for sharing that. TJ, can you talk to us about what gets you out of the bed in the morning? Like what is exciting to you about working in the line technician field?
Tell you what, it's probably just the main reason is just the fulfillment and the satisfaction of keeping people's power on. It's a quality of life business, as we all say here at East Kentucky. And it's you go out to these real rural communities in eastern and southern Kentucky, and you see just the way of life people are. And electricity, I don't think people can live without it anymore like they used to be able to. And we go out in the middle of the night, middle of the storms, ice, snow, sleet, whatever, and we fix these problems and we keep people's power back on. And it's just it just, I don't know, it just makes you feel good about what you do and how you're helping out the people out here in the community, especially the elderly folks and the ones who really don't have anything else.
Thanks, TJ. Laura, I am curious about some of the construction projects that you work on, and for a high schooler who may not be aware of everything that goes into engineering or how that is related to construction, maybe you could explain to us a little bit, a couple of details, what that looks like as far as the kinds of problems that you're solving, or ways that you approach those projects. What's required of you?
So I think both in my time as a design engineer and at a consulting firm and here, I think really the biggest correlation between the two is the learning experience you get on the technical side from seeing a project through construction. You can put anything on a piece of paper as a design, right? And I'm sure TJ sees that. I mean, I think we see that in all aspects of kind of the construction or implementation. It's really how feasible is something to construct. So what I think is interesting is the longer I work in this industry and the longer I see construction projects happen, it really changes my take on how to design things, how to make sure things are designed so that they're usable and they're constructible. And at the end, the plant or the member co-op gets a product that's easy for them to use and fulfills their need. And I think the more time you see construction, that would probably be for anyone going into kind of a design or engineering field, that would probably be one of my biggest pieces of advice is to see projects you're looking at or see projects you're working on, go see them in construction, because that's really how I think you become a better engineer on these type of fields.
Thank you. What to kind of continue along that line, what is probably your top, you think back to some of the projects you worked on at East Kentucky, what's your top project, like favorite thing that you've done?
Well, I'm actually up on a project right now. It's my second, it's a cooling tower. So in a very short period of time, we have to knock down a pretty large structure and rebuild it from the ground. It's a lot. I mean, we're out here a lot. The contractors are working sometimes 24/7. But to be able to work and meet those deadlines and get power back up in the time we need it, to me it feels like you've accomplished quite a bit in a short period of time through construction. So I think those have definitely been the most interesting to me. They keep you on your toes the most. You can't really have downtime on a project to make a decision because it'll make a big impact on the timeline. So I think those have been probably the most interesting to me.
Thank you. Sarah, I'd like to shift over to environmental a little bit. What are the same question for you? What's one of your favorite environmental projects that you've worked on?
Well, we have a lot of different things that come through. Probably one of the, I guess it's going to sound kind of odd, but one of it's not really a project. It's a routine event that occurs every year, and it's every quarter as well. But and it's very important though to keeping our compliance record and to prevent NOVs. So it's really important to me. But it's we're required to do routine reporting on pretty much any of our permits. The one that I mostly focus on is our air permits. So to operate our power plants, we have to have what's called a Title V operating permit. It's enforced and it's granted to us basically by the Division for Air Quality, so the state. But one of the things that we had with the satisfaction I get is that each quarter that I complete these reports, and each January whenever we complete and submit all of our annual reports, it's that satisfaction of we've accomplished, especially in January, it's about 50 or 60 reports that are submitted to the state and to the federal government as well, to EPA. So it's one of those things where it becomes crunch time, and it's kind of like what Laura said, it's where you have that short amount of time to kind of get something done. And it's extremely important, because if we miss those deadlines, we could be fined up to thousands of dollars, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on how poorly it's done. So it's one of those things that has to be done in a timely manner. It has to also be done in an accurate and manner as well. You have to do it efficiently. It's very detail oriented, which kind of plays to the detail. It plays a lot to to my strengths as well, coming from an engineering background and being detail oriented. Some other projects that are going on in our group that I don't have a direct role in. I kind of have a, kind of get looped in every now and then. But we do a lot of work currently within our substation areas and determining. We help we have a whole central lab that actually works on, they get samples. They might have to do soil sampling for projects and things like that to kind of help assess the conditions prior to a project being conducted. So that's a service that that I know our group is pretty proud, we have pride in to provide that to our different groups, construction groups specifically. They also, for the substation crews as well, they're conducting and making sure that all the equipment, the oil field equipment and everything is still operating. They, take samples of the oil to assure that everything is, still there's enough oil in there, basically to kind of determine that there's not any issues. So, but
thank you. TJ, Sarah was just talking about substations. What is a substation and what does it look like? Is that something that the folks who are tuning in would know what they are? And if they don't, what does a substation look like and what's it do?
Okay, well, I mean, I'm sure everyone has driven by one. You may not notice them if you're not really paying attention, but usually a fenced in gravel lot with a lot of like a steel A-frame structure, a lot of wires coming in and out, a lot of equipment in there that most people don't have the slightest clue what it does, but it's very dangerous stuff to work in and around. Basically, from our side is we generate the power at our power plants and we use the power lines to transmit the power to the substations. Well, from there, the substation equipment regulates the voltage and drops it down to a level where they can send it out to your power lines that feed your homes and your businesses.
Beautiful. That's exactly what I was hoping for. That was well broken down for us. Appreciate that. So we only have a couple more minutes for Q&A, and then I'm going to pass it over to the hosts. But in about 30 seconds or so, I want to go around the room and what if you were to give yourself, if you were to go back in time to when you were 18 years old, 17, 18 years old, coming out of high school, trying to figure out what you're going to do with your life. If you could go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be? I want to start with Dale.
After being here for the year and a half, I would say that I would have went into some kind of power transmission education instead of a maintenance background. I feel more useful here than I did at my old job. So I feel like I'm actually doing something good.
Thank you. Sarah.
I think for me, it's that I would tell myself, I focused in my college experience and my schooling, and on engineering and classes. I think one thing that I wish I had maybe taken a couple classes that were business oriented, be able to understand more fully some of those other operations that go into a business other than just the engineering side, because everything kind of goes together and helps it tie everything up.
Thank you. Laura?
My biggest piece of advice would be to take a little bit of time to figure out what you like to do, what you think you want to do. I know I went into college thinking I would be an architect. For anyone that knows me, I'm not creative and I'm heavily math science driven. So that was a crazy thought for me. But do some internships, kind of take some classes in different areas, use that time early in school or when you graduate high school to kind of figure out what grabs your interest and what you think you could like and play on your strengths, something I didn't think about doing early on.
Thanks. TJ.
Really, like I would bounce off what she just said. I would focus on finding out what you enjoy doing and not jump into something head first. I went to college and have a bachelor's in criminal justice, for instance, and probably never will use it, but that's what I thought I wanted to do. And college may not be for everyone. The job market out there right now is heavily favored in skill-based jobs, hands-on jobs. And it's something, I don't know if I would have changed anything myself, but it was definitely a learning experience. And I just tell everyone out there to make sure before you fully commit, make sure you know what you want to do, because it is very expensive for college and stuff. And you don't want to put yourself in a bind going later on in life.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Everyone, I want to thank you so much for coming on, sharing about your different perspectives within East Kentucky Power and the electricity industry. And thank you for sharing with the students across Kentucky what your experience has been and how to get to where you are. This is very critical kinds of information for them, and it's good to put a face, put some faces on the work that you're doing. So thank you for your time. And I'm going to go ahead and hand it back over to Harper Smith.
Thanks, Zach, and thank you all again to our panelists. That was a great discussion, and I know I learned a lot about this field. So I'm excited to now introduce our sponsors from KCTCS. I have Dean and Bruce. If you could both show your video and we can get you all pulled up here. They're going to share some information about some training and education programs they have related to this work. So I'll kick it over to them. Thanks.
Well, let me introduce myself. My name is Bruce Manley, and I am an interim director for regional campuses at Bluegrass Community and Technical College, but I also serve as the campus director for our Winchester Clark County campus. East Kentucky Power Cooperative's headquarters are in Winchester and Clark County, so they are a huge community partner for us in Winchester. As you heard, a lot of these careers that East Kentucky Power Cooperative has, there's a lot of pathways to get to those careers. And that's what we're going to talk to you a little bit about today from BCTC and SCC. Locally here in Winchester at our campus, we provide Associates of Arts and Associate of Science degrees that are direct transfers into a four-year college or university that is the training that a lot of you need to get those careers. Here in Winchester, East Kentucky Power employs about 725 people. That's the largest employer in Clark County, right behind our public school system. So there's a lot of career opportunities, a lot of things to do, and a lot of ways to get involved. And you can do that starting at Bluegrass Community and Technical College. One of the ways that East Kentucky Power is a great partner is not only are they providing a large workforce and a great service for our community, but they are really community minded and involved. I've gotten to know a lot of people at East Kentucky Power Cooperative through the local Chamber of Commerce, and they're a big supporter of a lot of our events, and they actually helped us build our campus with donations here in Winchester, Clark County. So we're very fortunate to have them in our community. They do a lot of great things, and BCTC is here to help you get to that skilled training that you need to have some of these careers. So even though we at BCTC do not offer a direct lineman program, we do have a lot of programs, like I said, in Associates of Arts and Associate of Science that transfers. But I'm going to let Dean tell a little bit about the program at Somerset Community College that is a direct technical program that trains people in the lineman program. Dean?
Thank you, Bruce. as he said, this is a direct program, lineman training program. I'm coordinator of the program. This is a workforce training. We are driven by the industries. East Kentucky Power has been a great supporter of this program. We started in 2008, and it has just been an enormous amount of help from the co-ops all across the state, the IOUs, the municipals. Everyone has jumped on board to help us, and in turn, we are providing students for them and employees. It's a great opportunity for those, if you're in high school, you're looking for something, has been mentioned before from the other people there from East Kentucky Power. Find something that you love to do to find your career. I enjoyed being outside. I worked for Kentucky Utilities and retired from there, and had the opportunity to come here and kind of get back to the part that I really enjoyed most, and that was teaching others about the industry and the work ethics. It's a great opportunity for you from high school. It's short term. Our program is an 8-week program. So far, it's been sufficient to get your foot in the door and get you started. A lot of the employers out there will say, you know, the students straight off the street, we're probably got 6 to 9 months ahead of what somebody off the street, and just an 8-week program. And if you look at it from the industry side of it, if you hire someone off the street for this type of work, you've got these companies have got a lot of time and money doing background checks, paperwork, trying to get it ready. And someone comes in and they don't stay very long. Well, then the company is right back where they were when they started. So it's a great cost savings for them for technical programs such as what we have here. It's been really good for us. There's several across the state at KCTCS, but we started, I believe we were the second one to start through KCTCS, and right now we have class number 69 working, and we've had milestone. I was checking some records. A milestone this past month, we surpassed 1,000 students placed in jobs through this program. So it's been quite beneficial industry to be able to work in this and provide a need for those students. We have a video we'd like to show. Cool, just go into that, please.
This is my office.
As a power lineman, you're a member of an elite workforce. You're given unique opportunities that others can only envy. You have an office with a view, the ultimate view. Your ceiling is the sky, and your walls, there are no walls. The work of a lineman can be physically demanding and mentally rewarding. At times it can seem routine. At others, your heart races and adrenaline flows as you face challenging and sometimes dangerous conditions. As a lineman, you're seen in many different lights. A common man, a cowboy, a rescuer, and at times a bona fide hero. If you want a job, look somewhere else. If you want an adventurous career that reaps huge physical, mental, and financial rewards, the life of a power lineman is for you.
Before I started this program, I worked for a cellular store as a sales rep. Out of high school, I've done a lot of odd jobs, you know, construction, pressure washing, detailing, just a million different things. Finally found something that I'm interested in. I found out about the program through a couple of my buddies that were signed up through it, read up on it, you know, done all the research, and really thought that it'd be something that I'd like to do for the rest of my life. I love being outside, and that's what this job is. Once I started line work, the people that I work with were very impressed at what the program had taught me. You know, I guess, you know, before this class started, they were hiring people off the streets, and they seen that they didn't know anything about it, and this class really gets you prepared, gives you a general idea, and then puts you above what what normal people just off the streets know. It's a great opportunity.
The Lineman Tech Training Center at Somerset Community College will not only prepare you for the unique life of a lineman, it'll help you find work in the field and become a member of a close and lifelong brotherhood.
I registered and got called and said I'd been admitted to the first phase in the first class, and I found out a lot. One, the 3 instructors here at Somerset at the Lineman School have over 80 years experience between the 3 of them, and I seen the facilities that we were going to train at out in the pole yard, and I knew that it was going to be very hands-on. I seen the material that we were going to get to use is actual what is used in everyday line work, and I knew it was going to be a real beneficial educational experience, that I was going to be doing what line crews are actually doing. Once I got out of the lineman school here, my skills that I learned helped a whole lot. Material especially, from basic hand tools and use to the genetics of 3-phase line and single-phase line. And when I done my interview with the company that I work for now, they were impressed and they were pleased when they asked, you know, what's your knowledge and what do you know about line work? And when I explained to them what I had learned here at Somerset, they were impressed. They were pleased that I had learned so much going through this school, and they said, well, we feel like you're going to be a good asset to the company. You're going to make a good lineman, and we're eager to have you on.
These young men here have got so many more resources available to them. They can climb more poles in 8 weeks than I got to climb in 2 to 3 years when I worked for Lexington starting out. They have so much more material, easier to work with, hand lines, you name it. And there's resources available to these kids. As far as getting into school and all, it is nice. I really like the opportunities that they have here. I wish I had them when I was young. I sure do. It would have helped me so much to advance quicker. Kids that come out of this school have heard that they're a year ahead or a year and a half ahead anybody that comes off the streets, and that's just 8 weeks of training.
The Lineman Tech Training Center leads you from apprenticeship to full-scale line worker in a 4-phase training program, with each phase lasting 8 weeks. You're taught proven techniques that make you a valuable asset to the industry, with many of our students hired as apprentices after phase 1 or 2. During phase 1 training, you'll learn CPR, first aid, safety training, equipment usage, basic pole climbing, basic rescue, CDL certification requirements, and other fundamental skills. Phase 2 teaches more specialized instruction in overhead line construction, hydraulic tool operation, live line work, and other important principles of dealing with electricity. In phases 3 and 4, you'll receive advanced skills training, enhancing your lessons from phases 1 and 2, and enhanced fieldwork techniques.
The employees we have that's come through the program, they come to us with a good understanding of safety, which is our number 1 priority, of the work, of the things that go on around the work, the climbing the poles, running the bucket truck, running the line truck. And once they come out there, it's more fulfilling for them because they don't have to struggle as much with learning the process. A lot of this stuff is just like a child, a baby learning to walk. It's frustrating. You stumble, you fall. Well, when they come to us, they're well grounded in the processes that we do. So they're not as frustrated. They can move forward easier and not struggle getting into the industry. As far as anyone out there that's considering this program and this line of work, it's an excellent opportunity. It's very fulfilling work. It's financially rewarding, and you will bond and build bonds and relations with people that'll last you the rest of your life. I would highly recommend the program. We're having good success with the program and the employees that we hire from the program.
In no other profession can you be trained more completely in such a short period of time. In no other profession can you be hired so quickly, sometimes even before your training is complete. In no other profession can you start at such a high level of pay and virtually double that pay in 5 years' time. And in no other career can you have such a range of experiences. For all the things that being a lineman is, it's liberating, allowing you the freedom of working without walls. It's rewarding personally by allowing you to help people when they're most in need, and financially with high starting pay and rapid increases. It's exciting, allowing you to travel and see the country, and each day dealing with an element of danger. There's one thing that being a lineman is not. It's not for the tame-minded. Normal work hours only apply when the power is on. If it's off, usually means you'll be working for long hours in extreme conditions. At times, you'll need to apply yourself even when your body says stop. But when it's all said and done, the rewards for you, your family, and your community will fill you with a sense of accomplishment and pride that you can get nowhere else. Contact the Lineman Technical Training Center at Somerset Community College today and see if you have what it takes to be a power lineman. If you do, and you meet certain requirements, there may also be comprehensive financial aid waiting for you.
That was a great and informational video. So if you all are interested in that program or anything that the local community colleges offer, I encourage you all to reach out to them. And if you need help getting connected with them, please reach out to Zach or me, and we can help make that connection for you all, because they have some great resources for this program. So thank you all again for tuning in. Thank you to our panelists and everybody at East Kentucky Power Cooperative for this great session. We are really excited to share this, and please make sure to register and tune in next week, November 17th, for our next Workforce Wednesday live session with Rubicon. We hope you all will sign up to participate with us again, and please be sure to check out those contests that I mentioned earlier and submit your submissions. Thank you all so much, and have a great day. Thanks.